Hi, Almalex Lives. I think it's time. Oh no. Really? I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. Oh man. Well, that's dumb. It reset. I thought I'd be able to. I thought I'd be able to get through here and complete this in 2 sessions, but apparently I have to go restart the whole thing. I don't want to have to restart the whole thing. That doesn't help anybody out. Oh, dude, I was just gonna go unload my inventory too, but that would make me fail the quest. Oh, hey, look, the shelves have got books on them though this time. Oh, and the plane's going over. It's like everything all at once. All right. Well, just finished spending my birthday monies on Steam. My family, my family that I live with. That's a terrible thing. Just got paper. Um, Pulled together and got me some Steam money. So I bought a few various things. I've been wanting to play that Near Automata, so I grabbed that one, and I grabbed I don't know, some little games, some add-ons to some games I got. I think that Near Automata is the only big thing I bought. I bought something else though that was Colonists or something like that, where you play robots that are building colonies for humans. I really like those little city builder survival kind of games like that. So, I bought the boxing VR because somebody I know liked it, and it was on my wish list. Kind of been wanting to try that out. Um, oh man, get back. Uh, and as per normal on a Thursday for me, I played D&D yesterday, so where you can talk about D&D. This is my Wednesday night live D&D. My play-by-post D&D. Not a lot's happened in the last couple days from that, but oh man, I'll tell you what, it was there was definitely some extra special going on last night. So there's a couple things I super hate with our DM, and one of them is how much he talks to himself. I get that you're the DM, right? And so you're gonna you're gonna have those moments where one NPC talks to another NPC, or something along those lines. But man, do we have to be there for it every time? Like, carry on a whole conversation between. So, I just he he wants to play in the game too, and so he has started. Well, he has a character, and so then last week we found this Revenant, which is undead um, undead guy who died in a way that makes him vengeful enough to come back from the dead to try and get revenge for what's happened to him, right? And so, uh, between his guy and the Revenant who travels with us, uh, there was a lot of our DM just talking last night. Talking, and talking. And especially because he's running two characters, now he's got double the chance to be the one to do the last blow to any particular thing. And he says stuff, so he's not. He's basically cheating, right? So, like, an example, um, we get in there and we open a doorway, and there's these monsters called sturges. They're like nice, giant mosquito type monsters, and so they're pretty weak, and I wasn't too worried about them. And I had I've got some AOE spells, area of effect spells that damage a bunch of stuff all at once. And so I figured we'd get in there and, oh, did he die from those bullets? Wow. I wasn't expecting, oh, they're down here. And so I was, just gonna run in and blast them all, and because they're super weak, they're like really low level guys. So when we get in there, he maneuvers them so that they're not all grouped up together, right? And because it's one of the ways he cheats, he moves the guys around because he knows what we have for abilities. Not because that's what the bad guys would do, but because that's what he would do if he were the bad guy. With the knowledge of the DM who has been running the campaign. Um, I can't remember if there's a. I know I talked about this being the way up and around, but I still don't know how to do it. I know that's what I did last time is stirred these guys up and let them break the door down. Um, but so it's super cheaty as a DM to do that, you know. Be like, oh, the swarm of sturges spill into the room. All right, he would never say anything like that because he doesn't give descriptions like that. There's like 20 sturges, and they all come at you, and and uh, and they surround your guys. Like, oh, awesome, because I've got this spell, but it only works if they surround me. And then he's like, until they move into these positions, and then he moves them so that only 2 of the 20 are in any given 15-foot cube. Uh, and so instead of swarming them like you would expect a bunch of bloodthirsty giant mosquitoes. No, our guys take up tactical positions so that they are never in a group if possible. Because you know how mosquitoes, um, tactically take up position to reduce the most amount of damage. So that, yeah, no, that's not how it works. But that's what he does, and so we fight the Sturges. I mean, it wasn't a tough fight. I'm not saying it was a tough fight. I'm not saying it was, something horrible along those lines. No, just the fact that they should have all spilled out and surrounded the person. On the opposite side of that, he'll do a thing where if he rolls initiative, uh, oh, here, hmm, uh, I guess the big problem with it, I just when I said roll initiative, it made me think of what the deal is. The big problem is that he doesn't have the bad guys on the map, and I know I've talked about this before. The program we use, Roll20, has got layers. Um, so like, if you're editing a photo, if you've ever edited a photo in like Paint or something like that, or done any kind of animation or anything like that, there are layers to images. And so if you've got layer one, and then you can add a layer on top of that, which is just another clear section, but it allows you to draw and edit the higher layer without damaging the layer below it. Well, this has kind of got that, but the layers are invisible unless you're the GM, the DM, whatever. And so I use those two terms are interchangeable. GM means game master, DM means dungeon master, uh, and so instead of playing the game using the tools the way they should be used, um, and there really is a way to do it. He doesn't have the guys visible ever. They're always on the GM layer. And so we as players can't see the GM layer. And so we never know what's ahead of us because he doesn't reveal anything until it can attack us. And they're not hidden, they're not hiding, right? A group of 20 sturges or giant mosquitoes are not going to be in hiding, waiting to attack people. They're just going to be mindlessly swarming around looking for something to chew on. But for him, it doesn't work that way. For him, everything's got to be hidden always. We're never allowed to see anything. We can't see the map half the time because he doesn't want us to know what's out there because he's afraid we might make a decision that makes it easier on us, I guess. And not that we're playing a hardcore kind of game, just that he thinks it's us versus him. And so whew, big sneeze there. So uh so yeah, it's super annoying to get in there and then, oh man, kind of like that. Super annoying to get in there and not be able to see what's in the room, and then he always wants us to put our guys in the room. Go ahead and move your guys into the room, and then he reveals what's in the room. You're surrounded by sturges. I feel like my guy, who's a trained warrior, might go against this tactically and not just charge randomly into a room full of bad guys. I feel like, he might think this through. Maybe just a little bit. You know? Uh, so I don't understand why every time We and if you don't move your guy into the room, he will grab your tokens and move them into the room, and then talk about how you're surrounded by bad guys. Whether or not they get a surprise round, which isn't a thing in D&D, but he thinks there is, so he's always running a. In fact, almost every fight he talked about a surprise round last night. Um, uh, uh, but yeah, it's oh man. Oof. So we don't get to see anything ahead of time, which is super annoying. And so we, like I said, we're always getting jumped by groups because we can't see what's coming. And so we had a lot of that last night, and then he's got this Revenant NPC, and before we started, he said, "Yes, I'm gonna need you guys to go ahead and take charge of this Revenant. I got too much going on, trying to control the game." And then he never let us control the Revenant the entire night. The whole night he was moving it, issuing commands, rolling the dice for it. The other thing I hate that he does is he rolls the dice somewhere else, and I don't know exactly where he rolls the dice. I don't. There must be like a GM channel for stuff like that, because sometimes you do want to roll the dice. Like, you don't announce that you're checking. Oh, you don't announce that you're checking to see. Oh, he's fast and he's gonna kill me, and that's not my gun. I'm dead. Wow. Well, I failed that quest. um, you don't announce that you're checking to see if your people get attacked. You roll the dice and you go on your way. Because it's supposed to be a surprise. Not a it's invisible surprise, but you hear, you know, scratches coming, or footsteps, or skittering, or howls, or something, so that your players have time to think about it and do something about it. Unless the thing is trying to be hidden, because there are creatures, right, that try to hide, assassins and whatnot. And okay, let's go get this box then, since I can't manage to do this tier 5 clear quest. It's a big ask, actually, to do the tier 5 clear quests. They're pretty massive. Um, and So yeah, so we finished floor 1 last night, and and so then he wanted to know if we were going to stay in the dungeon, and we're like, yeah, no, we're gonna head back out home because we're still on the first floor. So we're not gonna stay in the dungeon. Sorry. But and see, the thing is I don't think this Revenant would stay with us. I mean, I haven't read the book. I don't know if, like, maybe this Revenant is different than what I understand Revenants to be. I mean, they literally just want to kill the people who have wronged them. That's their whole thing. Like, if you kill one, they come back 24 hours later and keep going after whatever it is their enemy. Now, there is a Revenant class now, um, which is a little different, but or not class, but race, Revenant race. Uh, but the bad guy Revenant, which was the only Revenant, maybe not the only Revenant, but the only official Revenant, I believe, when the adventure came out, is the kind that only exists to get revenge. And so it's a little weird to have an NPC who chit chats and talks to people and does all this stuff that, like, you wouldn't really expect him to do. Like, I asked if he was a monk last night because of how much damage he was doing punching, and so obviously he's not playing the class Revenant. He's playing the monster Revenant because of how much damage it was doing. And I feel like that's the only reason that we end up with this guy on our team is because it gives him more opportunities to make sure he gets the final kill on stuff. Because that is one of the two goals our DM always seems to have. Goal number one, kill the players. Goal number two, make sure that I get the final kill. And he denies it, but I still believe that the only reason that he has to get that final kill is that he was a ninja looter in MMOs, um, and which means some of the old games, uh, some of the old games are designed so that it's changed. But there was a time in like World of Warcraft or like EverQuest, where the person who killed the creature got to loot the creature. Now, you might think, well, that seems fair. Well, it's not because it doesn't work exactly the way that sounds. Um, so if it was like all the people who attack the creature get to, you know, fight the creature or get the loot from the creature, all the people who fought get loot, that would be fine. But that's not what that translates into. It was literally the person who got the kill got to loot. And uh, so you could come along because encounters weren't locked down. So you could come along and watch people fighting, and then just before it died, throw in a big spell or something, and get the final blow to the bad guy, and then they wouldn't be able to loot your kill. And that was the thing. That was an actual thing in MMOs when I played back in the day. Ninja looters, people who just stand there and wait for you to. Where is this treasure? Ooh, it's like way out in the desert. Guess we could go take a look to see where it's at. But the way he acts, every game I play with him that's MMO like, he has to get the final kill. He will ignore everything in a battle if he thinks a bad guy is about to die, so that he can go and get the final kill. And it's weird because it doesn't mean anything. I don't understand. It really doesn't mean anything. Like there are no bonus mechanics for getting the final kill. Uh, I mean, there are, I guess, but not the classes he's playing. So I don't understand his need to be the person to get the last blow. And so now he's got two characters, and so it doesn't matter what you're doing. He makes sure one of his characters, even though it might be fighting something totally different, one of his characters will be close enough that, and once again we roll into the cheating aspect. is that he doesn't really keep track of HP so much as decide when we've done enough HP to kill the thing. And so almost every time, uh, the amount of HP we need to kill it is one attack from his character. Uh, and because I pay attention to hit points, I don't write them down or anything, but I pay attention, and we'll be fighting something, and he'll do like 30 damage to something with his character, and he'll be like, and that kills it. And then I'll be fighting the exact same character, and I'll do like 70 points of damage to it, and then he'll be like, "Oh, it's still up." And then he'll bring in his guy, and he'll do like 10 points of damage, and he'll be like, "Oh, that killed it." And I'm like, so why did this one have 70, 80 something hit points and the other one only had like 30? And no, no, you must have miscounted. You must have miscounted. Well, nobody hit that other one except your guy. And so no, you just miscounted. Sure I did. And so last night, like I said, those Sturges, I had all planned out that I would just use my AOE spell, but then he moved. Well, we move into the room, and then after we move in the room, he says, "Oh well, now you can see them," and so then he brings them up on the map, and then he's like, "Oh well, I haven't positioned them yet," and then he positions them. So not only has he put your guys where he wants them to, but now he positions the bad guys around them so that the bad guys can take their turn from the best possible position. And so, yeah. And so I hit a guy, and he's like, "Oh, it's still alive." And so I hit it again, and he's like, "Oh, uh, um, yeah, you kill it, but now I've used up my whole turn because I missed once. So my guy could attack 3 times on his turn, and so one hit, and I did like 9 damage, and then I missed, and then I hit again for 7 damage, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you kill it," and then he starts killing them, and then later he says, "Yeah, each of those guys only had 2 hit points, so," and I'm like, "You made me hit that one guy for like 16 points of damage before you said he was dead." "No, no, I let you kill one for each blow you landed." I'm like, "No, you didn't." "Oh, well, I must have made a mistake then." Yes, I mistakenly forgot that the bad guy only has 2 hit points. And even though you landed 9, I didn't want you to take out more than one guy on your turn like I was going to do right after you. Because reasons. He also, oh man, all right. I got two more little things here. So, oh, cool, I found it. So we're, oh, nice, and it's a good one too. Uh, so we're fighting those Sturges, or no, it was goblins. We were fighting goblins, and he decided he was done with combat for the night. And so this is the thing that he does, where he's not a big fan of combat. He's also not a big fan of letting us be involved in the story aspect of things. He just wants us to listen to him talk to NPCs with non-player characters with his PC, his player character. And so he'll have like huge multi-minute conversations with himself, and expect us to sit there and listen to it, and then when we try to talk, well, then they immediately get mad and attack. And um, so we're fighting goblins, and I guess at this point in the night, he was tired of combat because we're playing a dungeon crawler kind of map, and so there hasn't been a lot of NPCs chit chatting back and forth with each other. And so he's like, I'm just gonna let you guys take out more than one goblin at a time. And the revenant that he's controlling punches, and somehow punches so hard that he kills four goblins who are in a straight line. Um, yeah, I'm not sure how that works out, but and then the what was the other? Oh, this is the other thing. So he's got a spell on his character that he casts called Fairy Fire. And so Fairy Fire is a spell that basically surrounds you in an outline and of fire. And so it doesn't hurt or anything, but it makes it easier for people to target you. And so it's a pretty good spell. And so we cast it, and so we get we get advantage on our attacks, which means we get to roll twice and take the higher number when you're trying to see whether or not your attack landed. And so, um, the other guy who plays with us, he rolled, and both his dice came up as a 20. So natural 20 means you automatically hit, um, and so he's like, oh, that's amazing, that's amazing. You don't see two natural 20s together like that. You know what? I'm gonna do something special for you. And so we're sitting there trying to figure out the damage because we use roll 20, and so it puts everything together in like one window. So when you roll, it just tells you uh, what your hit amount was and what the damage amount was. And so then you gotta hold your mouse over it, so it'll tell you what the dice amounts were and stuff like that. Uh, and so when we crit, we're using the. I suggested we switch to max of because I don't like. I mean, I don't dislike it, but I really hate when you'd use double the amount on the dice because a lot of the times you roll terrible and you get a nat 20, which means that you crit. Um, and so then if you double two ones, that's a 4. And I'm like, what kind of a crit is a 4 when I can do 12 damage if I roll double sixes? So I suggested that we do max of plus what's on the dice. And so if you do roll that 2 and you get a crit, it becomes a 14 instead of a 4 because you do 2 better than what's your max amount. So we're trying to figure out what the max amount for this guy's hit is because he rolled a natural 20. And so I'm figuring it out, and our DM is like, "Oh, look at that, 2 natural 20s. You'll see ever. I'm gonna do something special. I'm gonna let you just kill this guy." And because I mean that's just an amazing thing to happen. 2 natural 20s to come up together, uh, and uh, and he's like, because he had like 37 hit points left, so I'm gonna be nice and I'm gonna say that you killed him, and I'm like, be nice. He did 53 points of damage. Oh, so you would have killed him anyways. And then that's it. That's it. He doesn't do anything after that. And the guy goes, that's a really nice. I'm going to do something special for you. I'm going to do nothing. That's basically what this amounted to because he didn't give us a bonus if the guy was already going to kill him. But he, you know, he had to do something special for us. I hate when he says, "I'm gonna let you." We hear that a lot. I'm gonna let you do what your guy would have been able. I'm gonna let you go ahead. I'm gonna let you. You want to jump across that pit? I'm gonna let you roll a dexterity check. That's how nice I am. I'm gonna let you roll a dexterity check. An acrobatics check, you mean? No, no, I don't think acrobatics applies here. I think it's gonna be just a straight up dexterity check. I'm gonna let you roll a dexterity check. And if you roll high enough, then I'll say you succeeded. I'm like, well, the rules say that as long as I have 10 feet of movement, I can make that jump. Well, I'm gonna let you roll to see if you make it or not. Can't we just say that I did? As the rules say, I did. Why do I have to roll? Ugh. Anyways. Anyways. Yeah, so, ooh. Yeah, I got Steam Bucks, which is awesome. I love me some Steam Bucks. I got candy, which is awesome because I love candy. And I got the Star Wars movie um, because they didn't bother to look at my list before they went shopping, and that is what they decided I might want. And I'm fine with that. I do. It's the newest one. I didn't realize it was out on Blu-ray yet, so they got me the Star Wars, whatever it's called, Fall of the Skywalker, whatever it's called. I actually enjoyed it. It's a little weird, but I mean, at this point in time, what part of Star Wars isn't a weird thing? I mean, as much as they want to pretend, George Lucas changed chunks of the movie and made it weird anyways, so a little bit of weirdness trying to make sense of what happened over the years, I'm fine with. Um, but yep. All right. Well, with that, click like if you like. Subscribe to share and catch the next one, and I will talk to you later.